Ronald Reagan pointed out, Chris, that freedom is always one generation away from being extinguished. And we're reminded of that admonition tonight. We are at a very dangerous hour in this country. Never before in our history has an American president ever suggested stopping an election for the purposes of maintaining power, because if the election were tomorrow, he would be crushed in the election. And increasingly, there's very little way in terms of strategy for Trump to win the election. What he's attempting to do is to sow chaos, sow doubt, question the legitimacy of the democratic process, getting in position to try to steal the election. He is an illiberal man, and this is an autocratic moment, and we should understand it as such. But in the end, it's not Donald Trump's right to bestow upon or take away the voting franchise. That franchise has been paid with the blood of American martyrs, and it is our inheritance, all of ours. John Lewis said that we all came here in different boats. We all came here in different ships, but we're in the same boat now. And the reality of it is this: from Lexington and Concord to Gettysburg to John Lewis on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, we will vote in this country. We tell the government what to do, not the other way around. This is the United States of America, not Trumpistan. And the American people are the last check on this most illiberal man. And so there was a question that was more robustly debated in the 1970s and 80s than it was in the 90s and the early years of this century, and it was contemplating a fascistic project. Could that happen in America? Could there be an authoritarian movement that could come to power in the United States? And the answer was always no. The high watermark for that was the German-American Bund in 1938 selling out Madison Square Garden. But the question of could it happen here? It is happening here. When the President of the United States dispatches and threatens to tens of thousands of armed stormtroopers lacking badges and IDs, shoving people into white vans, slowing the mail down, which is a federal crime, to influence the outcome of an election, dividing the American people, questioning the legitimacy of the election, suggesting that he will not accept the results of the election, talking about suspending the election. And have no doubt, if Donald Trump could stop this election from going forward for the purposes of remaining in power for the rest of his life, like the many fetishizes and admires, like President Xi, like President Putin, he would do so. And anyone who thinks that he wouldn't is profoundly naive and deliberately not attentive to the moment we're in.